Hey everybody, welcome back to Monkey Adora. It has definitely been a long time since I've done one of these retrospectives on a game that has been played on this channel. Today we're going to be talking about some Halo 2, everyone's favorite shooter, if you're above the age of like what now, 50 probably, I don't know. It came out when I was 10 years old back in 04. But anyway, I played this game again for the first time all the way through in probably since like 2014. I did this last year, and I did it on the new graphics. Well, new, even though it's a decade old at this point. But it was a good time. Now, we got to kind of really dive into Halo 2 a little bit. So Halo 2 came out in 2004. It's a first-person shooter developed by Bungie, published by Microsoft Game Studios, and it came out for the original Xbox console. It was the sequel to the critically acclaimed Halo Combat Evolved, one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, this game really expanded on the first one, added new weapons, vehicles, and you got to play part of the campaign from the Covenant's point of view as they're going through like their little civil war, whatever you want to call it. You got to play as the Arbiter, which was very cool. This game was super highly anticipated. Came out in 3 years. This is back when sequels actually came out in a reasonable time. You don't gotta sit and wait around for 12 years looking at you, GTA 6, or wait around for 20 years looking at you, Elder Scrolls. But this game, I mean, it did have a little bit of some hiccups. I think they have been widely talked about at this point. During development, they had to axe a little bit on the multiplayer. Game ended on a cliffhanger, but this ended up leading it to an awesome trilogy. And I mean, this game ended up being one of the most critically successful and arguably one of the greatest games of all time. It launched with the release of Xbox Live back in the day, and it was the most popular Xbox Live title until Gears of War came out for the 360 a couple years later, which it's pretty cool. I mean, this is back when like the online stuff for consoles was, I guess you could say, kind of new still, and this and Gears of War probably made the Xbox what is still known today as the shooter console. I'm not going to get into all that. Today, the campaign is seen as amazing, even if it did end on a cliffhanger. Back in the day, it was seen as very, very divisive for whatever reason. I don't know. I was too young back then to really understand. But overall, yes, awesome game. I beat the whole game in one sitting when it first came out. I remember I got this game as a gift like 2 or 3 times. Not like purposely, but I had asked for it for Christmas that year. And around Christmas time that year, I had been dog sitting one of our neighbors' dogs while they were out of town. And when I came back, instead of paying me like I was anticipating, yeah, a little spoiled old me, he had given me Halo 2 as a gift instead. And then Christmas Day came, opened my presents, there's Halo 2 again, and then I went to go visit my dad for Christmas, and guess what? I got it for a third time. So I was like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do with this? Halo 2 has definitely stood the test of time. It got its sequel in 07. Wow, that's already 18 years ago. That's crazy. Halo 3 came out and really wrapped up that storyline. Until Reach came out, and I think, 2010, 2011, and gave us the prequel story there, up to the first one. And then in 2014, so 10 years, basically anniversary, it got re-released with the Master Chief Collection, and boy, oh boy, what a disaster that was upon release. It was just buggy and broken, but holy moly, Halo 2's remaster blows so many games out of the water still, to me. Not the gameplay and all that, because that looks really good, but the cutscenes is just beautiful. And the fact that you're able to seamlessly transition between old and new graphics is crazy. Um, I'm still blown away. It looks even better on what's it called? On the Xbox Series X, the new one. So we're gonna dive into the gameplay here a little bit. I have used Wikipedia as kind of like a guide and taken a lot of my own notes. Obviously, Halo's a first-person shooter. In this one, you get to use, kind of like in the first one, you use human and Covenant weapons. And like I said before, you get to really see everything from the Covenant's point of view as well. And one of the biggest things that this game introduced, and it was on the cover posters and all the promotional stuff, is you got to dual wield weapons. It was just like the second coming of the flying spaghetti monster. It was absolutely crazy. But yeah, the dual wielding was awesome. You got to be introduced to stealth through the Arbiter's point of view on the Covenant side. Now, it wasn't like your comrades who had permanent. Yours went away relatively quickly, which was kind of annoying. But it's still kind of cool to have it, especially when you're first given it on that first level. I think the level is just called the Arbiter, where you're going to defeat the heretic or whatever who warns you about what might be happening, and then lo and behold, he was right, just like every other conspiracy theorist out there in the world. In the campaign, you can do single player or cooperative, and this was a huge, to me, selling point for Master Chief Collection, was being able to cooperatively play that enhanced version over online. And it was a hot, buggy mess. I mean, it took a year, at least, for me to be able to finally be able to accomplish that. You have the same kind of set of levels as you do in the first one. The first two levels that appear on like the campaign list are basically just cutscenes. I think you have the heretic, and then it's not armory. I don't know what the first one is, but it's basically just you're getting the huge cutscenes from Covenant and the humans, which is pretty cool. You have all the same difficulty levels in this campaign. You have easy, normal, heroic, legendary. And then, of course, with like achievements and everything, you have the, what do they call it? Lasso achievement, which I have done for, I think, all 4 of the Halo games. I think. I'm not entirely sure, but it is when you have all skulls on. It is very, very hard. That is a playthrough I do not have and will probably never, ever have. All right, jumping into the multiplayer. So this one obviously came with Xbox Live, and I believe it was either a year or 2, maybe it was a year and a half later, they launched that multiplayer map pack, which is crazy. I don't remember a lot of games ever doing something like that, like the multiplayer map pack. Basically DLC before DLC existed. I don't think there was DLC until we got to like the 360 and stuff, so that was pretty wild to see. But of course, everyone I knew got it. I got it. Run out of breath. So, Halo 2, it was, multiplayer-wise, it was supported all the way until April 2010. So almost 6 years of support, which is, I mean, pretty good. Nowadays, I mean, Master Chief Collection is still heavily supported. And I think, so we're in 2025 right now. I think last year or 2 years ago is when Halo 3 was finally cut off on the 360. There are not a lot of 360 servers still up. There might still be some Call of Duty lobbies and stuff, but Halo 3 to get, 16, 17 years is crazy. And man, am I just rambling. PC servers were taken offline in June 2013, so again, that was 9 years later almost. But at that point, you have Master Chief Collection on the horizon. So, yeah. Alright, we're going to jump into the synopsis here, the setting of the game, and all that. We're going to kind of just gloss over this a little bit, because I think most people who are watching this probably know what Halo 2 is about. So, it takes... I'm just going to read this... we're just going to do a quick synopsis. Alright, you ready? So, It takes place in the 26th century, so this is what, the 2500s. Humanity is under the auspices of the United Nations Space Command, or UNSC, as we hear throughout the entire campaign of all three games. They have developed faster than light slipspace travel and have colonized multiple worlds. This is where Halo Reach comes in. This is where the first Halo really kind of starts off, as people fleeing Reach on the Pillar of Autumn. After colonizing these worlds, the humans come under attack by the Covenant, which is just basically a big, I guess you could call them, coalition, a collective of different alien races. So they declared humans enemies. So they tried to basically just wipe them out of existence. And up until Halo 2, Covenant did not know Earth existed or where it was. They'd only wiped out the other systems out there. Pillar of Autumn escapes Reach, follows protocol, and initiates a random slipspace jump to try to lead the Covenant away from Earth. And then, while fleeing, Pillar of Autumn discovers a Forerunner structure, or a ring world called Halo. Basically has Earth-like conditions on a alien-built structure. The Covenant believe Halo's activation will lead to divine salvation. The humans discover that the rings are actually weapons of last resort built by the Forerunners to contain a terrifying parasite called the Flood. Master Chief and Cortana learn from 343 Guilty Spark, which is a big AI thing, that the activation of all Halos will actually destroy all sentient life in the galaxy. That way the Flood can't spread. Instead of activating this first ring, Master Chief and Cortana detonate the Pillar of Autumn, destroying this one Halo installation, and the Flood do not escape. And Master Chief and Cortana fly back to Earth on a ship they manage to salvage off the Pillar of Autumn, and they warn of an impending invasion by Covenant. They have discovered where Earth is. Halo 2 opens up with a Halo 2 Covenant Elite Commander who is aboard High Charity. He is on trial for basically allowing the ring to be destroyed. And here you start to see the Brutes, a new race being led by Tartarus, trying to basically usurp control and command of the Covenant. And you get to see basically this elite. He's on trial. He gets punished. He gets branded. And then after that, he is put in front of the prophets. He is almost up for, or I think he is up for execution. And they give him a chance to become the Arbiter. And it is a rank given to the elites in times of great crisis or turmoil. And as the Arbiter, he manages to quell a rebellion and recover another guilty spark. Back on Earth, we have Fleet Admiral Hood giving Sergeant Johnson, who somehow escaped the Pillar of Autumn in the ring, and Master Chief medals and commendations for their actions there. And then we are introduced to Miranda Keyes, who was accepting a medal in honor of her deceased father, Captain Keyes, who perished in the first one. Covenant fleet appears and are invading Earth. There is a single ship that carries the Prophet of Regret, slips through Earth, and besieges the African city of New Mombasa. Master Chief flies down and assists in fighting, and then at the end of this fight, they end up following Regret through a slipspace all the way back to another ring world. I am running out of breath. While this new ring world, they search for the index so they can try to, which is Halo's activation key. They respond to Regret's distress call, High Charity, and the Covenant fleet arrive at Halo. After Master Chief kills the Prophet of Regret, the Covenant bombard his location. He falls into a lake where he is dragged away by tentacles. Regret's death triggers discord among all the other races of the Covenant as the Prophets give the Brutes the elite's traditional roles as the Honor Guard. The Arbiter ends up subduing Johnson and Keyes and then manages to retrieve the index for himself. Tartarus appears and basically reveals that they are turning on the elites, and he ends up he sends the Arbiter to his doom, basically Darth Maul style. And this is where the Arbiter and Master Chief meet at the bowels of Halo. They are introduced by a huge creature that is a flood, called Gravemind. And let me tell you, watching this in the new graphics compared to the old this was probably one of the most mind-blowing scenes. This, or just the opening scene of the game, was pretty crazy. Gravemind reveals that the Great Journey is a lie and that the prophets have been lying the whole time. The rebellion was correct. Master Chief is sent back to High Charity. And as soon as he gets there, it starts falling into disarray as a human ship controlled by the Flood crashes, and they start invading the whole Covenant city. Parasites, the Flood, they overrun the whole thing. Prophet of Mercy end up killed here. Tartarus and Truth end up running off to Halo with Keyes, Johnson, and the Guilty Spark to try to activate the ring to stop the Flood. They gotta start this great journey. Master Chief ends up following Truth aboard a Forerunner ship leaving the city, and Cortana remains behind to destroy High Charity and Halo if Tartarus succeeds in activating the ring. On the surface of Halo, the Arbiter joins forces with Sergeant Johnson and confronts Tartarus in Halo's control room. One of my favorite levels in the first Halo, by the way, is control room. When the Arbiter tries to convince Tartarus that the prophets have betrayed them, Tartarus instead ends up activating the ring, and a huge battle ensues. One of my favorite levels. Arbiter and Johnson end up killing Tartarus while Keyes removes the index, and then the unexpected deactivation sets Halo and all their rings on standby. So there's tons of other rings that they find out. They are able to be remotely activated from a place called the Ark, which we will find later in Halo 3. Meanwhile, Truth's ship arrives at Earth, and Master Chief informs Admiral Hood that he is finishing this fight. Most epic thing ever. And then in a post-credit scene, Gravemind assumes control of High Charity, and Cortana agrees to answer the Flood Intelligence's questions. So Cortana has fallen to the hands of the Flood. So that's pretty much the synopsis. That was a good 5-minute rundown. We'll jump into some development here again for the game, and then I'll give my final thoughts. So people might not know this, Halo was never originally planned to be a trilogy. But due to the first one selling more than 5 million copies within a 3-year span, a sequel was expected, and Halo 2 was put in to production. It was supposed to be released in 2003, it came out in 2004, and then they ended up finishing with that, I almost said hangover, cliffhanger, and they ended up making it arguably the greatest video game trilogy of all time. I mean, we're not going to go super in depth with all this, so people probably know it. The soundtrack, you got some Breaking Benjamin in there, Incubus, Hoobastank, very cool to see. We've had some collector's editions of this game come out. As far as sales go, I believe they sold over 8 million copies in the first year. Halo 2 is the best-selling first-generation Xbox game with at least 6.3 million copies sold in the US and 8.46 million sold in total. So we're about to hit the 20-minute mark. I'll give my final thoughts. So the good, this sequel, you could argue, blows the first one out of the water in every single aspect. You get two sides in the campaign. You get to see the Covenant, the humans, Earth is invaded, ends on a really cool cliffhanger that was pretty hated back in the day, but it holds up. The remaster is absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful pieces in gaming ever. What else can be said that's good? The campaign, beginning to end, is just awesome, non-stop. heart racing, heart pumping, adrenaline pumping action. There isn't like any forced stealth that I remember. I mean, it is cool. You get to see, you get to fight alongside the hunters in a couple levels, which is awesome. You get to hear Breaking Benjamin play Blow Me Away as you watch the hunters and brutes go at it. It is just, I mean, I can't say anything bad so far. The most worst, most diabolical thing that Bungie ever did to Halo was nerf the pistol. Why would you do that? Why? The pistol in Halo 1 was god tier weapon. There's no other weapon in video game history that comes close to that first pistol. And then the second one, they threw it away, man. Why'd they do that? I gotta go cry about it now, man.